Good morning. I am delighted to have all you guys joining us for this morning. So, over the years, I've worked with hundreds of businesses to help them reach more customers, and today I'm going to lay the foundation for increasing your sales, and I'm going to do that by way of cake. So increasing sales through marketing. One school of thought would be to work through the 4 Ps. The product, the what you sell, the how much you sell it for, thank you, Yosef, the where you sell, your online presence, and how you get the word out, promotion. But I would say these are the ingredients for marketing. And for ingredients, you have to be able to mix those ingredients. You've got to know your kitchen. The ingredients by themselves are not going to be enough. And so for our purposes, I would say it's not enough to know your business. You have to know how your business fits into your world. So to work on this, we're going to work out our marketing kitchen, which has 4 components in its kitchen. And I'll talk about each one of these today. So know your customer, know your USP, know the location and the size of your net, and have a plan for saturation. So the first, defining your customer base. There's 3 elements, and I would say the first and most important is to be able to ask and answer, who is your ideal client? And so think back through the length of time that you've had your business and be able to identify your best clients. So you really want to try to write this down and the description of what really has them stand out from your other customers. And my guess is that when you try to tell those stories back to back, you're going to see some elements in common. And those elements in common are things that brought out the best in you. Now, it's going to be different for each of us, right? For some of us, it's going to be the connection that you have with the relationship you have with that customer. Maybe that customer got you to work at a higher level of service. Maybe you provided different services. Whatever it is, you want to try to get that into words. Then the next piece is the demographics. Now, whether that's going back to that list of ideal clients, whether it's taking a guess on if you marketed this correctly, who do you think is going to be buying your products and services? But you're looking for statistical information, the age, male or female, homeowner, renter, single, young, whatever those pieces are that help to identify those clients. The more you can get discrete on that, the easier it is going to be to find your market. And then lastly, looking for common themes. So the thing here is just to be able to dig a little deeper. People say, oh, well, it's parents that I serve, or it's retirees, or whatever their theme might be. But you want to get as narrow as possible. To increase sales, you really have to narrow down. And so are they parents of young toddlers? Are they parents of struggling with teenage schedules? If they're retirees, are you including the young police officer that's already put in his years of service? Are you just focusing on active seniors? Really try to drill down to that. All that to create your profile for your customer. And then the next kitchen component would be to know your unique selling proposition. What is it about you that your customers are coming to you versus your competition? Now, this slide is just the tip of the iceberg. You could have like a semester-long class on this, but so this is kind of like the cheat sheet version. So not only what are they doing to choose you, but also what are they doing to come back? What is it that makes people want to come back to you? What are they doing? Why are they coming to refer you? So I think a lot of businesses get stuck on this day, like, well, I can serve anyone. And while that may be true, not everyone is going to choose you. And so you really want to look at what is it about you that they are, that has you stand out, what people are interested in that piece, and then how do you own your uniqueness. And again, you want to be careful that you're drilling down deep enough. So I hear a lot of people say, well, I offer unparalleled customer service. And they think that the story stops and ends on that. But if you were to look at, a bunch of realtors, that they all could be saying that, but when you drill down, you could find that there's somebody who says, well, I offer great customer service because I overturn every rock and they're going to see every house that's in the area's inventory. Well, somebody else might say, I prune the list. I'm only showing people that I think houses that they are going to love and that they might be ready to buy. Somebody else might be focused entirely on the selling process and knowing that they are providing the intimate details of what's happening during that process, while somebody else is blocking out all that minutia. So they're all offering their version of customer service, but it's not good for everybody. So being able to define your customer service and to spend a fair amount of time right there is a huge piece of this. But it's also about your culture, and culture is all kinds of things, from walking into the office with the cozy couch and the cat on the chair versus another office that's tile and there's not a chair in sight. It's also things like jeans versus suits and texts versus in-person emails, in-person meetings. And then another one I would say is price versus value. So are you leading with price? Is it really because you have this great price that you're offering, or is it that you're laying out an investment and price is just something that they're just following along with after they've understood what the great value that they're getting? All of this, you just want to be able to know what it is that you're doing, believe that that is right for your brand, and then make sure that it's happening consistently throughout your process with your other staff and through all the steps of your process. The next is your net. So you know your customer in great detail now. You're acutely aware of your USP. So where do you go to spread the word? You want to use those first two components to really then select an area that's going to give you the greatest opportunity for finding your primary targeted audience. The best way that I can describe this piece, I would say, is to illustrate it with a couple of advertisers. One of my advertisers is Dr. Gary Scardino. He has a chiropractic office in Newtown. And he has a lot of clients who will travel great distances to come to his office because he offers unique services. But his primary audience is always going to be around the perimeter of his office. He has a lot of people right there who are likely to, there's a lot of people in the Newtown area that are looking for chiropractors, and there's a lot of chiropractors that are competing for that business. And so for him to be saturating his perimeter just right outside his office and just a few miles out is going to continue to be the primary place that he needs to be focused on. And then on the other extreme would be Trains Pops Attic, which you guys might have met Brian and Cynthia here today. They have a hobby shop in Bristol. And so they are focused on both the novice collector of all kinds of models, but also they have expertise in for the aficionados of train collecting. And so they have, and there's not many hobby shops in the area, and there's certainly not many hobby shops that have that level of expertise. So they can have a much wider net so that they can go after those discrete populations throughout the area and bring them into their shop. So you really got to be able to define who you're going after and where you're likely to find them. So, So whatever the size your net needs to be, you need to make it count. You can, you don't want to dilute it by trying to spread your message too thin. You want to use the concentrated strength of your brand by saturating the target area before spreading the message out any further. So for purposes of today, the components, the net, the customer, the USP are the breadth of your marketing plan, while saturation allows for that depth. Or you could say the customer, the net, and the USP are the cake top, and saturation allows for the cake layers. Now, each business is different and needs a customized marketing plan based on all those pieces that we've been talking about. But for a business that's trying to reach consumers in a local area, they're going to need these 7 areas, these 7 elements, or the 7 layers of the cake. And so I love what Georgianne does in creating a customized plan for your business. And I really encourage you to talk with her to make it fit. But in short, you're going to see that at the very least, these 7 are going to be a fit for local businesses that are trying to get local customers. And the customization is going to come in the breadth and the variety that you use them. And there's many other marketing tools that are available in the area and valuable to businesses. There's outdoor things like lawn signs to billboards, there's expos and fairs, there's radio, big pieces that you definitely want to consider and incorporate. But for today, the core. So there's networking. Exactly what we're doing here today. There are most businesses here, and most businesses in general, are based on the owner. And many consumers want to know that person first. Promotions. This is everything from the logoed shirt that you're wearing while you're running around for errands to the items that you're providing after a sales meeting. Your website is critical to qualify you. What happens is people find out about you, maybe they're reading about you in Coffee News, they want to then qualify the business. Many consumers are going to go to the website as their next step. Retention. Once you get a customer, what are you doing to keep that customer? Email. These are campaigns to help people find out about an event like today, to bring customers back, to reach out to prospective clients, and to keep clients. Doug is the guy to talk to on the East Coast about this, and you'll get to hear more about it from him. Social media. This is another way to promote your word of mouth circuit. And there's just so much opportunity in which you can build on your brand once you really have that set. You look at Coffee News Facebook page, you're going to see local events, coffee humor, and we talk a lot about our advertisers. And so I have our social media guru and who does all of my social media, and I'd love to talk to you more about social media too. But for today, we're talking about print. And so every business that's reaching consumers needs a way to reach the masses. Print is ideal for this. It's a way to continually and repetitively, am I saying it right?
Yeah, you said it right the first time.
Shoo! Yeah, right. That week after week, that you're going to be out there in front of people. And so in any print advertising tool, you want to be looking, what are they doing to help with your word of mouth, to keep you front and center of your readers, and to provide long-term exposure. So to pull this all together, if you were to Google Bucks County Plumbing, you'd find about 12 different companies, as well as a handful of lists like Angie's and Yelp's that's going to give you more lists of multiple companies. So given the multitude of options, consumers are likely to gravitate towards that which they are familiar. So the customer is probably going to call them and say, I heard about you, I saw you on Google search, but the reason they selected that company versus their competitors is likely due to the repetitive nature of consistent branding. And so what does that mean? That means that they heard about the business, they read the ad, they saw the truck, they saw one of their reps wearing their shirts while they were waiting to buy milk. They had enough branding going on that when they needed them, they recognized the name and pulled it out of this long list. So of all the layers, I'm going to tell you about my favorite. Now, I wouldn't go so far as to say that Coffee News is the icing on the cake, although it is fun and loved by all and puts a smile on people's faces, but it is my favorite. And here's 6 reasons why. The repetition. The week after week exposure creates that recognition when the time comes, when the need arises. Targeted, my top 2 most common readers of Coffee News, seniors and young families. It's affordable. It's designed to have to be able to afford the long-term presence that's required to build credibility and trust. Your ad is visible. It's either on the front or the back. It's never lost in the middle. Loyalty. I hear all the time stories like I read Coffee News every week when I go to my favorite deli on Wednesday and I get my Reuben sandwich. And it's exclusive. You're the only one of your industry, so you stand out. Why is advertising needed? Why is weekly advertising needed? We see over 3,000 commercial messages a day, each of us. And so you need the week after week repetition that creates that sufficient exposures to influence your potential customer purchases. And why long-term advertising? There's a couple of reasons here, but I'm just going to focus on the first to say that only about 1 to 5% of any audience at any given time are your now buyers. So if your advertising is not consistently in front of future buyers, you're turning away 95 to 99% of your prospects. So Coffee News is the exclusive, long-term, highly repetitious, affordable, local advertising that makes a great investment in your business. And today, I'm making that package, or my packages in general, even sweeter. And it's good only this week. You can choose from any long-term package, and you also get a $100 discount off any monthly social media package. I'm going to waive the ad creation fee, which is a $55 value, but that also allows for a year's worth of ad changes. And you can walk away today with an exclusive Coffee News cupcake brought to you by one of our distributors, Fritz's Bakery.